Welcome to the Left of Str8 Show, where we talk entertainment, music, books, foodies, and more each week with special guest interviews of interest to the LGBTQ community and our straight allies. Direct from the entertainment capital of Northeast Ohio. Your host, Scott Fullerton, chats with some of your favorite entertainers, celebrities, newsmakers, and behind-the-scenes people across the country and around the world who make it all happen. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's start talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Left of Str8 Show, the podcast that brings you the best entertainment for our LGBT community and straight allies, where we celebrate the talents and accomplishments of remarkable individuals. I'm your host, as always, Scott Fullerton. Today, I'm excited to have back on the show a truly dynamic duo. To call them actors and comedians really doesn't do them justice. They're each trailblazers in our LGBT community in ways both large and small, and have overcome diversity and hardships in the youth that have transformed and shaped them into the fantastic men they are today. Jason, Stuart, and Mitch Hara have had incredible careers individually, leaving their mark on the entertainment industry with hundreds of credits each. You could literally sprain your fingers just scrolling through their IMDb profiles. They work with a literal who's who in the industry, but they haven't stopped there. Together, they've created a sensational short-form series called Smothered, where they not only star, but flex their writing skills. The outrageous dark comedy delves into the tumultuous relationship of Randy and Ralph, an entitled boomer-age couple who find themselves unable to afford a divorce. Between the chaos of the Jewish mafia, eccentric therapists, and heavy medication, Smothered explores the dynamic between these two unforgettable characters. Season 2, out right now, takes the hilarity to new heights as it expands on the story, introducing new characters, delving deeper into the lives of both Randy and Ralph. And the second season premiered with a magnificent red carpet event. It's since shattered records for indie comedy series on Amazon Prime. And this remarkable show has garnered a devoted following, coming to no surprise for the exceptional performance by my buddies Jason and Mitch here. They've earned nominations and acclaim at various film festivals and award shows. I'm so excited to talk to them all about this again. Please welcome back to the show the very talented, the very handsome, and the very funny Jason Stewart and Mr. Mitch Hara. How are we doing, boys?
Hey, Scott, how are you?
Thank you so much.
I'm excited to talk
that
to you.
Intro.
I was very happy about that intro.
Yeah, I mean, you should be.
Well, you guys... so accomplished. I mean, I'm excited to have you back on. I know just from the last time we had you on together was when season 1 came out, and that was like roping a hurricane between the two of you. So I'm going to stand back a bit today and let you guys have some fun here. The only thing I do want to start on is we're coming out of Pride Month here. You guys both came from two different experiences coming out. Jason was much more conservative. Mitch welcoming it with arms wide open. When you think about Pride, tell me about your tribe now. What do you gravitate towards now? And how do you think you guys have evolved towards gay men, Jason?
I was going to say Mitch go first. So that's a loaded question. It's so big and so wide. First, I say, when I came out in 1993, I came out on the Geraldo show. It was considered a big career risk. A lot of people told me not to do it. It's 30 years this year. The fall will be 30 years. And I was pretty scared, honestly. And it was a whole different experience because I didn't feel at the time supported by gay men. Most gay men at that time were more interested in women and I guess in drag personalities. And now things have changed so much that we are now in that play. I mean, there are bears, there are cubs, there are, twinks, older,
twunks, sunks, blunks.
everything. there's every walk of LGBTQ is now open into this color wheel of love to us. So I feel, and we've had, the gay community has been our first.
Jason, is your volume all up? Is your up
I
as far
think
as
I'm
it can
closer.
go?
Yeah, there. I was
Better,
too
right?
yeah, thank you, sir. See how gay men support other gay men. Gay men have been
Always a producer. I love
have
it.
been so supportive to us. That's been our first audience, and they've been, and the things that they've said and written about our show, and it's been so meaningful to me that all these men, and a lot of them have been fans of mine for decades, and it really means a lot to me that my LGBT fans, not just my brothers but my sisters too, my bis, my trans, my drags, all of the people in the color wheel of our community have been supportive of this show, and the straight people are trailing along trying to get in, as they always are.
What's so funny is my experience is like I'm like this wild child running through the forest all the time, naked, screaming, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, and all my shit's beautiful. So it's like my perception, and
so
maybe it's my
You're becoming a part of the chair. You're shrinking. It's like you're Lily Tomlin, and then sit up so we can see your beautiful face. So you're running there. Isn't that better? So now I'm producing for him.
Fabulous.
I love it.
Hey,
That's a great frame.
We've come a long way.
Great, Mitch.
Yes,
Good job, Jason. I like that.
Yeah, right?
We're here.
Here we go. I'll even put the chair up higher.
You're in the camera.
There I am. Why waste this? Anyway, I always thought I was amazing. My whole concept is I'm amazing and my content is amazing. And I've always been colorful and not tried to hide that. And it's just like jumping around, and it's just like, love my shit or move on. It's like I had our childhood were so abusive that I was used to rejection. So this was like the perfect occupation for me. So I just got done doing a huge Pride march with Sony for
Los Angeles Pride,
Spider-Man, whatever. And I led the parade. Every picture and every Getty picture. And everybody at Sony, the culture is so different. Everybody at Sony is coming up to me going, oh my God, that was fabulous. Straights, gays, blah, blah, trans. It didn't matter. Do you know what I mean? And Jason always feels like the gays and the Jews were going to support our series first. And it's so not true.
Everybody.
I would think our best audience so far has been straight women. They
I gotta disagree, Mitch.
I think the gays are following. It's like nobody's ignoring us.
Nobody is, but the gay men have come out in a really big way for us, especially the gay men of age, which are your fans too, Scott. They really have come to us in a really big way.
Especially in Palm Springs.
Yeah, and the other people have come on. We had a big screening at Sony, and it was wonderful. We had press. And celebrities, and then we had a really nice big premiere here in Palm Springs, and so we've had two major launches for our show, and both of them have been so supportive.
And it's the whole series is based on a long-term relationship, and Palm Springs and men of a certain age. If you've marinated long enough and you've been with the same person, sometimes when they breathe, you want to kill them. Right. And we wind up saying what everybody else wants to say to their partner because there's no boundaries. And he responds like 50% of the people, and I respond like 50% of the other couples. So everybody's represented, because we've had people that come up to us and go, I'm more the Randy, or I'm more the Ralph, or I'm more the, they identify, which is just so amazing. Do you know that we're representing people it wasn't our intention, really. Our intention was to create something hysterical and amazing. Yeah. I'm not an icon.
Our intention was to do really good work, to have it be really funny and have depth. And then we just
genuine.
And be genuine. We decided that we weren't going to worry about the length of the episodes, what we do. We just totally we did whatever. And then as money came in for it, and as we created it. We made our cuts and
Which is
tried to
great.
fit
All
into
of
the
it
box.
was amazing.
Yeah, it fit into the
It
box.
was the magic because we set this up and the people just joined us. We lost people and then better people came, including a director, Carlisle King. Amazing. She's our director
Well,
for
it's
this.
been right. It's been a great ride to watch. I mean, like I said, I started on board 3 years ago in the beginning. And we're going to talk about the series. Let's just kind of catch up, though, a bit. Jason, this is
Cool.
your fourth time on here. You've been on 3 times before, including when I did my big gay road trip to Palm Springs. Now you're living there. You've done some amazing projects in your acting. You still have so many great comedy gigs. Kind of catch us up to what you've been doing the last 2 years.
Oh gosh! So I guess one of the biggest thing is I guested on Goliath, which is a show that's on Amazon, no relation to Smothered being on Amazon, starring Billy Bob Thornton and produced by David E. Kelly. And I got to play the head of the pharmaceutical company, and I acted, dig this, opposite J.K. Simmons, Bruce Dern, and Haley Joel Osment. So everybody had an Oscar nomination or an Oscar. So that was great. And what's really funny is that I had done the audition, and then they lost it. And I did the audition with Mitch. He did it with me. And then I did it again for the casting director online, and I got it. It was just great. And I also have a film coming out called Garlic Parmesan. I have it coming out in the fall. It's a straight boy comedy where I play the dad. I think I'm a gay dad. I think I am. And I play this guy who's a very bad
Like you have a
improviser.
choice.
Groundlings group in West Covina, and I have this gal that plays my daughter, and it's really funny. And what else have I been doing? I've been doing a number of voiceover gigs, and I'm doing a special.
Well, you're
July
missing like
1st.
3 top ones, Jason.
Oh, what am I missing? What?
You're missing. He was. You're such a schmuck. He's in the 100th. He's in the 100.
Oh, yes.
Gay
I voted in the Out
thing.
100. Yes, and Out Magazine voted me for the Out 100 for my
Correct.
my,
This is
my
30-year anniversary of coming out on Geraldo as a homosexual
also the success of our
with
series.
a wig. Yeah.
And the success of The Birth of a Nation and all the things that I've worked on over the years. I won the Best Actor Award at the Indie Series Awards, where
There you go.
Mitch and I were both nominated for Best New Series, and 2 of our actors were nominated for guest stars. And then Mitch and I were both nominated for the Queerty Award, and the series was nominated. And then the series was
And FYC right now, we're on the list.
We are actually on the list right now again to be nominated for the
Today's the
second
last day
time.
of voting.
Today is the last day that we can be considered for a nomination, and we'll find out in a month or so whether both of us are nominated and/or our series. So that is really exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting a special called A Laugh Proud on July 1st at the Gay and Lesbian Center Theater, the Lily Tomlin Jane Wagner Theater. That Quentin Lee, who's done all these great movies, is now doing a series of specials. And I'm doing this with all these brand new comedians who are like gay, bi, trans, liquid, fluid, everything.
Liquid.
I'm like the most boring person in this special, whereas 30 years ago when I did the Out There special, I thought I was so unique. Well, that's over. I'm just a regular old gay guy.
Gay is nothing these days.
We're just,
It's nothing.
We're like a pair of old
boring.
shoes.
It's pedestrian.
Yeah, we're pedestrian.
Well, you've always been the hardest working actor in show business, I think, Jason. I was really excited when I saw the Out 100 award. Very well deserved.
It's right there on my wall.
Mitchell,
It's right there. Here.
I see it. I see it right back, the yellow, the big yellow one.
Exactly.
I love it.
It was sponsored by
And
McDonald's.
Mitch, I mean, I've been following you extremely close the last 3 years since we last talked, because I just think you're one of the funniest men on the planet. Plus, you have extremely hot-looking guys in about every other one of your social media pics. You've been having this fantastic one-man show, the damn kumquat from outer space or something. I don't know.
That's
Or
Mutant.
2.0.
Mutant
And,
Alan, I'm the kumquat.
He's the cute
I
one.
talk about that. I'm just teasing you a bit. Talk
He's-
about this show, also directed by the person that's directed season 2 that you mentioned a little bit ago. But talk about this
Carlisle
show.
King.
Yeah, Carlisle King. It's really
Incredible.
one of the
Let
best
me
things
say something
I
first.
ever do.
An incredibly prolific theater director. She's an incredibly prolific theater director, and sort of basically put on a pedestal in Los Angeles.
She's a renowned theater director, and I pulled her in to break her cherry in television.
Basically, yeah.
And I introduced her to Jason, and she's just, she studied with all these amazing women and men, and Kim Stanley, and also Milton Gonzalez, who I studied with. I mean, she studied with every. Oh yeah,
I had no idea.
Oh no, some of her her qualities, the way she directs, is directly from Kim Stanley.
And people,
not everybody knows, but she's an insane director.
You want to know Kim? If you
nobody knows who she is.
She played Frances
She's
Farmer's
in the 40s.
Mother in Frances.
She was a goddess or something. She
started the movie The Goddess. She was a big Actors Studio person, and she was.
And Carlisle's in the Actors Studio, and I'm in the Actors Studio. But we can get back to Mutant Olive, baby. It is the best thing I ever do. I've been hearing great
reviews on Mutant Olive. I forget. Del Shores, Emerson Collins, I think, went and saw one of the productions. I talked to them about it. But you've had just some great reviews on it, and I've known a couple people seen it personally. So that's very personal to you, right? This is kind of almost a letter to your parents, or talk about that.
It is a twisted love letter to my parents. I mean, it's hysterical, and it all takes place in an audition. So you're laughing out loud, you're laughing till you're crying, then you're really crying. And then it gets really deep, and it gets really shocking, not to me, but to the audience. And then they're laughing again, and then they're crying, and then they're laughing, and then they're crying. I mean, it's in no way a coming out. It's an elevation story. It's a story how you evolve and how you elevate beyond your experience, whatever the experience is. And mine's kind of like extreme, but my parents are deliciously colorful and horrible and funny, so you get, I mean, I've never been to therapy, but the way I create, I use all of my own garbage and baggage and abuse and whatever the hell happened to me. I use it as art. So, I mean, that's how I paint my creations, with my own interior.
Well, now craziness. You are completely blurry, and you're like picture of Dorian Gray.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine once it comes up. It records it separately.
Yeah, it records each of our but I know it's just the lighting.
So it'll be fine.
I just want to make sure he doesn't disappear.
No, I look fabulous, don't I?
Well, you can't tell. Sometimes it looks a little blurry in here, but
you look blurry. Scott looks blurry.
The way the film works is it gives 3 different views plus a group of all of us. So it's going to show each of us individually. Then it's going to put us all together looking fabulous. So we're good.
Oh, wow. So whoever's talking, everybody else gets blurry or whatever.
But it's still recording it straight out. So it's still
cool.
good.
Oh, I'm comfy. Yeah. So that's been great.
You guys are such great storytellers. And I think that's what's great about this one-man play. I mean, Jason had I'm Talking, his autobiography. Is this your autobiography? You haven't written a book, right?
This isn't about the book at all. That's the book. Yeah, the series has nothing to do with our real.
No, this is.
No, I'm saying your one-man play though is like your book. Jason has his book.
Talking
about his experience.
Yeah,
this is like
an autobiography, and Mitch's more is a fable.
It's very autobiographical.
It's autobiographical, but he does it under the auspices of being an actor named Adam Astor, and he's being too modest. There's one scene in the piece that he does with folding chairs, where he has this drug-induced car accident with 27 cars. It's so funny. Recreates it so funny, so hysterical, and also so sad and frightening at the same time. I'd seen it.
And I have an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, this is my third incarnation that I saw that, and it blew me away.
No, there's some amazing. It's the best thing. Yeah, I love doing it because it's very, very, very personal.
Right.
But it's never frozen. It's always liquid, and it's always, if I find something new, I put it in. because it's got to stay fresh for me. And the difference with an audience doing shit live, because Jason knows, because he does stand-up a lot, that there's no other kind of journey, trip, ride in a train, boat, car than with an audience. Because it's like, depending on the audience is the kind of show you get. I mean, it's always different. If they're really vocal, and they are, they're like, they comment on the stories like they're happening right now, which is so amazing to me. But it's just, for 12 weeks I was sold out, and I'm doing 2 more, and we're going to film it. And yeah, it's been amazing. And Carlisle's the perfect director.
He's had a couple people, the wrong people, come to the show and feel like they could just talk to him.
Oh my God, they were insane. 2 people with dogs.
Who was the second one?
And
With dogs? Oh my gosh.
There was a girl, please. One person with a dog thought she could talk to me on stage like we're bullshitting.
This is
we're
the lovely Carol Eda White from Laverne and Shirley, who played Rosie.
Who was in the series, first episode?
She's in both of our last episode of the first season, first episode of the second season. She plays Rita, our social worker, and she's a little. Sometimes
Laverne and Shirley. She was Big Rosie.
Right.
Go ahead.
And she occasionally, feels that she loses where
Lost
she is
her
in the
mind.
world. Yes, just occasionally. But we love her. And
She's got 3 brain cells left, but she's very talented. She's sitting in the second row with a dog. Her phone goes off.
Used in the show because she would not let go of the dog.
Yes.
So that wasn't scripted. That was just her bringing her dog in that first scene.
No.
Oh
Just
my
her
goodness.
dog and her fucking phone.
The whole time. Right, Mitch? The first season, it was under the desk, and it kept licking our feet, and oh my God.
And I was just like, let her hold it.
Right. Just get him out from touching us.
Yeah, it's hysterical. And my show's very interactive, so I break there is no fourth wall. So it was early enough when the dog started talking and her phone went off and she's dropping the phone, and I was like, okay. I said, is this going to be a long thing? Are we going to take, because it's like, it's an audition and it's mine, because I'm in the middle of an audition. So the audience got on my side because she was annoying them. So she made me a hero. So it was like, great. And it's just like, dealing with a heckler or somebody who's like just out of their mind.
She didn't mean to. She just can't help herself.
No, she didn't mean to. But she did it.
That's hilarious. All right, well, let's get into the series. I want to talk about it. First season was 3 years ago. Such a great hit. Now you're going into it. Is there more anxiety since it's been such a success as you go into it to write together? Is it less? Is there a shorthand now? Talk about what your feelings were going into season 2.
I just thought, what? Our intention, like he forgets, our intention was to elevate and to extend our characters and to bring in more story and to bring in more characters and to make them more, multi-dimensional. So, I mean, I wasn't worried about, first season was nuts, viral, and it's hysterical. And it's like, it's a proof of concept. You either love these characters or you don't. And we're hysterical together, and our chemistry is stupid. Yeah.
They were like
and they were all like 4 or 5 minutes. Go ahead.
They were like little bite-sized episode. And then the second season, what we wanted, our intention was that Randy became more likable, that there were things about him that you could see that he was growing, and that he was starting to mentor one of the trans kids in the gay and lesbian center where we're living. And then at the same time, we wanted Ralph to get more balls and stand up to Randy. And he sort of had a little flirtation with Eduardo, who runs the
not a little. We wanted you, Ralph, to have a
love interest,
a flirtation. Yeah, a love interest. We wanted a lot of stuff. It didn't happen by accident, Ralphie.
No, of course not.
It was all. It was all like we wanted that, and it's like, first of all, it's all learning. It's learning. Randy's learning. He's not all of a sudden a mentor. He breaks down
Right.
his selfishness to do that. He has to find a way to be that. And Ralph finds balls in the craziest, he'll stand up to Randy, or he'll say, well, me too. He won't just be a doormat, or he just won't be Edith Bunker. He'll
You
fight
took
for his
such
territory.
advantage of that in such a great way. The episodes were a little more expanded than the first season, but the first season you pretty much had a therapist in every season. This we're spent on the characters a lot more, right? So we're
Yeah.
learning a little bit more about you, and I think it gives you that opportunity to grow as the characters. So I love the way that was kind of brought together into the second season.
Yeah, we had also brought our parents. My mother is a widow with who had 4 husbands and is suddenly becoming bisexual, and and very similar to me, wanting to fit in, wanting to hang out with his mom, and wanting to get in there. And then his parents were very scary and able to get us out of trouble. We won't tell you how because we don't want to ruin the story for you.
Possibly in the mafia, possibly, allegedly,
and still in love.
Well, like you said, it's
Still very sexual. We had 3 people in their 80s who were very sexual.
Well, it was great to see that. And like you said, if your mom's gonna become lesbianic, I mean, Amanda Bierce is the person to do it for. Talk about these guest stars. You got some great co-star. Jay Rodriguez did a quick little cameo, but
yeah.
You brought a lot of new characters in. Was that kind of fun to work with everybody? Was it more challenging for the director?
It was great.
Well, I met Amanda Bierce in Palm Springs. We were the 2 celebrities at an event, so you could see what a big event this was. And there was one drag personality. I think it was Hecklinky, God bless her. And we were there at this event. And we had both come out at the same. She came out of the Advocate the same year I came out in Geraldo. And she comes over. She says to me, I think we've met before, right? Because we both came out in '93, and I said, no, we've never met. She says, I know we have. I said, no, I don't think so. I would remember meeting Amanda Bierce, and for the last 2 years, we've become very close friends. We hang out, and I know her daughter and her ex-wife, and she knows my mom, and we become very, very good friends.
Which ex-wife? She's got 4.
No, 3. The other ones were live-ins.
Oh.
I said, watch my show. And she said, oh my God, this is so funny. I would love to be in it. And I said, well, great. We'd love to be in. And I called Mitch and I said, we got Amanda Bierce, and we just had to find a place for her. And she is.
But the truth of the matter is, Jason,
Yeah.
just to interject the cat Kentucky story, because originally this is the only character that I had that we had like predetermined what I want. All the other characters could have been played by men or women or trans or whatever the hell. This one I saw in my mind as an angry Lizzo, like a big, black, sturdy woman that we could be afraid of. And then he came in with Amanda Bierce. And I was just like, she's a little white woman.
She's tiny, too.
And then she's tiny, but she's charming as hell. She's so smart. She's so funny. She's so intuitive. And we actually had a read through, and I was like, fine. And that's how that happened. Everybody else was
well, I think. Yeah,
she was great.
Very well.
Yeah, now you can't see anybody else playing it. Which brings us to what Mitch was saying. Every character in this, we really didn't have a predisposition of what age the character would be, what race, whether it be a man or a woman. Sometimes we'd argue about it. I want this to be like the lawyer was supposed to be a man. The thing, this person was going to be this.
So we got an Asian woman.
Yeah, and it just changed.
And we didn't even change her name.
No, we kept it Kenny.
Jason said, don't we have to change it? I was like, no.
No, what the hell? We did things like that all the time. We were really lucky because Mitch was riding his bike one day and he met Armand Fields, and who had been in the new version of Queer as Folk. He was a regular on that show. And he's out riding his bike, and he talked him in, and we got him to play No, which was so wonderful because he's so good in it. Jay Rodriguez, I had known for years. And I called him and I said, hey, would you do a part for us? And we kept switching him around. He doesn't know this, but we kept switching, trying to find a place. It was almost like cards. We kept trying to find different. And then Mitch had gone.
Well, unfortunately, there was another piece that there just was no room for. And he's so adorable. So cute.
And then Nick Few,
we just couldn't stick it in. We tried 5 ways.
Nick Few, who plays the Calvin, the guy that's running for office, had played my son in a short film that I directed, and I had met him at the Writers Guild, and he was such a gifted actor, and he's so wonderful in this. And then, how did you know Nicole from Milton Gonzalez, Nicole Evans?
Oh yeah, Nicole is
Evans, superstar. She's on.
She's
Superstar.
Amazing. She's disabled. She's in a wheelchair,
and she plays one of the shrinks.
She's super so she does wig therapy, and she's so fucking funny. Oops.
And then
she's hysterical. Everybody's fabulous in this, really.
And we have an East Asian
Your friend Ada Rodriguez.
Ida Rodriguez, who has a big HBO special and a book coming out. She agreed to play one of the shrinks for us. And then the Carlisle.
Which is one of my favorite episodes, really.
Yeah, it really is. It's how we first met. How we first met. And it's how we are completely in different pages about everything. And then, are we missing anybody? There's some wonderful. The parents.
Yeah, of course we are.
Oh my God! So
our parents.
The two Mitch knew the dad.
Bobby.
Robert Costanza, who's been in everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was Joey's father on Friends.
And that's just one of the millions of things. And then I got the two moms because Ellen Gerstein was an old friend of mine, actor studio person. And Carol
but
Goldman.
The other one was Carlisle's friend, Goldman.
By coincidence. No, she was my friend. I brought her. Total coincidence. She was in my actor-writer group. And she's in one of my... And she was just
great.
So lovely.
She played my mom with the gun.
Oh, so funny.
Well, it's getting such love towards it. I mean, you had all this confidence going into it, but did you think it was going to be such a fan favorite? I mean, we're breaking records on Amazon. Talk about the expectations then and where you go from here.
Well, I think that you never... Mitch always knew everything. I think you never know what's going to happen. And I always, that's the difference between us. I wait and see, and he's just... he had a little Instagram thing he did the other day. He said I'm loved and I love me and I love being loved. And I think if I said that, I think I would just drop dead. I would.
That's paraphrasing. You understand?
Yes, I don't know. I couldn't even say it.
Whatever it is, I do appreciate myself.
I would become a pillar of salt.
I also, if someone goes, oh my God, like if I did a scene or whatever and they go, that scene was incredible. I will say, I know, wasn't it? Because
I'll say, thank you.
And he would never say that.
Yeah, I would say.
Or I will say, oh my God, this is so great. You have to see it. I love me in it. And he said, and so Jason is always saying, why don't you let someone else tell you that? And why? I believe it. I don't need someone else to tell me.
He's an island,
No, I believe that to be true.
Well, and I think the authenticity is what draws people to it. I mean, we always either see the really soft, lovey-dovey side of a couple, or we see them having small skirmishes. You guys are like real, right? This is fun. You guys slapstick. I mean, you use your improv skills for it. The slap scene in the very beginning, in the first scene, is amazing.
Why that happened is because we were having an argument that day, and he was really mad at me because he was mad at me.
He was so mad at me
because he was just.
You were the one that slapped first. He slapped so hard.
He was having a little hissy fit. Diva bitch.
He was horrible. He was just horrible and picky. My God! Like
he doesn't like it if I get quiet and I get quiet. That totally makes him nuts. Totally.
It's the passive aggressive thing that bothers me, not the quiet.
I'm not talking, and it's passive aggressive.
Hold on one second. I got my mother down here. They're in the cupboard. They're on the shelf there. I haven't taught some parents. Sorry about that. Mom's
Oh my God! Hold
my
on,
mom came
Mom.
down to say hi.
Did I call my mother?
Oh my God, my mother's dead. So
You're not the only one with the next door mom there, Jason. I got to tell you.
She's
You
one
gotta
Yeah.
stop.
floor downstairs, so she can't get up the stairs. So thank God.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my
So
God.
you had real life drama be able to infuse into the script, then it seems.
He
Right?
loved it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I
But you know
did.
what's
He
really
slapped me so hard, I slapped him right back so
Oh,
hard.
that was real. But you know what I really loved
I
about
knocked his eyes
when I
out.
watched the show, when I watched the show in the theater, both times what I noticed is there was a tremendous amount of behavior, physical behavior in our performances. Whereas a lot of people will just do their work and they'll be just a talking head like a talk show, and there won't be business. We're eating food, we're fixing our house. He's fixing his clothes.
We're actors.
Yeah, but Mitch, a lot of people, and
We're
you'll
good
see
actors. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, in short form series, and a lot of series have very little behavior. Like one of our favorite shows is The Bear, and that show is loaded with behavior.
Oh my God, I love that show.
The second season, it really influenced us both, whereas the first season, Fleabag, really influenced us. So we had a lot of things.
Fleabag and what's his name? Silver Lining Playbill.
Oh, David O. Russell.
Oh my God, love him, love the dialogue, because they do a lot of dialogue, but it's not precious. You know, they got a lot to say and they're screaming at each other and it's whatever, but they don't pause and they don't get all, but Jason, you and I encourage each other to find, we didn't want to do a vanity project. You and I encourage each other to find something better. Like I'm constantly pushing, okay, that's great, but what's a better line? And he'll vice versa.
Well, we also
that's one of my questions I had down the line too. You guys have both had such long, illustrious careers and work with a lot of people. Talk about, who do you draw from when you're drawing? Is it all just kind of, are you an automatic pilot now doing your own thing for so long, or do you continually draw from other people?
We're never an automatic pilot. We learn the scenes backwards and forwards. At times, this is what really weird that happened, is that we were doing several different scenes where I had read that Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford, while they were making All the President's Men, they learned all the lines, and sometimes one would say the other's lines. And Mitch, if I paused for a second, would say my line, and then I'd say his just to get back. And it almost became like we were just talking in some of these things, and we were just. There was something in the rhythm. It was almost like we were singing a song together. Music. There was a comedy.
Well, the dialogue is music,
and so we did not do an incredible amount of improvisation, though. We did at the beginning and the end of scenes.
Creating it, we did do a hell of a lot of improv.
Well, it came from improv.
Everything was scripted when we got to
But we did,
and then we left ourselves open for happy, magical surprises.
And we did give ourselves permission at the beginning and the end of these scenes to button it or put something on that didn't, like I remember once, Mitch, when I was walking out of the door and Amanda was screaming at us as Kat. And I went, Jesus Christ, she scared the shit out of me. And they kept that in. I was out the door.
We kept that.
Yeah, they could have just...
first season, episode 4, he didn't know I was going to kiss him.
Not at all.
When we were fighting. And I kissed him and bit his lip and all that. And it was just like, it was made the episode fabulous. And in this, when I'm going out, it's dead, delete. He just did a very simple, he said, over here. So I go in to kiss him and he turned and faced. So, so it was a lip lock. I was like, oh, so that, we just went with that.
And that was
we surprise each other. No, it's fab. And it's just so genuine and quiet. It was so, lovely.
It was almost, that's what I call my Dupas Brothers scene. It was like it's so real and so, our 30-something or something. There was just a feeling.
And that's our director.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of scenes when we were rehearsing it were completely different. There's a scene when we get out of prison.
Episode of the jail, exiting of the jail, which is one of my faves. Love it.
we were going to do that scene, and we were so angry when we were doing it, and it was so dramatic. And then she said, "Try it again. It's not working." And try it. And we went, "What? Okay." And she says, "Try it again, but just talk to each other." And then all of a sudden, the behavior of me being the parent to him, and putting his coat on and making sure our hands were clean from being in jail, and all the things that one would do who loves somebody, was all part of the scene while we're arguing. But yet there's no discussion of it. There's no
it was just so much more interesting.
There's no, it's just,
that's what I love about it, was the naturalness of it, just like that cleaning the hands, and you just reaching your hands in between his hands while he's putting on the
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I mean,
that's what he's talking about, behavior.
That great moment would never happen is if behavior didn't happen and somebody put their hands under the thing to clean their hands off. That would never have happened if we just stuck to the lines and did the scene like we were thespians. We were open.
Well, plus it was all moving, and that was Carlisle's idea too.
Exactly.
That it was just the camera followed us because we're really married to a shot.
Yeah, it was one shot,
which I love more than life. If you can get that whole
beginning of the scene, he takes a picture because he's always taking pictures of himself. And then one scene he takes a picture, and then he takes another one, and I'm not in it, and I'm too late. And
he likes it. Randy likes it better.
And it isn't even that. I don't even try to get in it because I know there's no. And I went, oh, okay.
No, you tried the first time, and then it was just like, yeah, and then you gave up.
But it wasn't like there was an argument.
I wanted to hold off a little bit to bring you on. It's been out for a couple months now, but I kind of purposely did it because this has such a twist to it. And like I said, first the story, it's more about you guys. You see a lot more of the love behind the animosity between each other. So I love those softer scenes. But then it turns, and we have a different ending that we might have expected near the end. And so if you haven't seen it now, go see it. But what are you guys willing to talk about this kind of twist ending now that we've been a couple months in?
Well,
wow,
I'm going to tell the PR story.
I don't want to wreck it.
I don't want to wreck it either, but the PR person, one of our PR persons, before we hired them, they watched the whole series, and they were like, oh my God, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And then I have a problem.
And then Mitch got so upset when she said that, remember?
Hey, I know. I was like, what does she mean she has a problem?
Have them
so she goes, they can't have that kind of, I'm not going to give it away, but she said, they can't have that kind of argument. I said, well, they do. Because it's reality. Do you know, it's like, how far do you push each other before? Because we walk away from each other a lot in this episode, or I walk out, or he walks out, or he walks to the bathroom, or I walk out the door, or whatever. But this one it's very funny, but it's very real.
Did you find it
very
funny,
real?
Scott, what's your perspective?
I did find it funny, but I also thought it was the most open and honest and vulnerable that Mitch's character ever was. That final scene just opens him up completely. Still, the humor stays in it, right?
Right.
But it's like he's talking real, and before you can kind of tell throughout the series, first and second season, I think, that Mitch's character has an ulterior motive behind his toughness. And you kind of see it in his eyes, you kind of see it in his acting. But I think that shell is broken in this last scene. And like I said, we don't want to give too much away, but it's an amazing final scene between you guys. I think it was a great final episode. And
Thank
so
you.
well done, which sets you up for an entire new season 3, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think
there's a cliffhanger, baby.
I think that certainly, Randy's character loses his sobriety, and Ralph, for the first time, stands up to him, but in a very subtle way.
Right.
Which is really...
And there's all the nuance behind with the chef and everything. You got all this extra nuance involved that kind of just adds to the drama to it. So I think it was so well done. You deserve all the kudos you're getting. The nominations, like you said, by the time this will air, maybe a week or so before we find out. We're going to air this in a couple weeks. So I just think you're going to get the same accolades it has before, because you've taken everything from season one and just expanded upon it. It's just become the acting is larger, the sets are bigger. One of the things I did like is you guys do a great use of space, right? There's not a lot of open space. You guys are very much cloistered in all the scenes. Even the kitchen scene was probably the most expansive set you had.
You're right.
And I just love the way you guys play with that space.
And that was all in Sony Pictures. They allowed us. Yeah, they're really nice to me. So that was probably the most opened scene, because there's him and then there's me and No entering the kitchen, and then there's me entering their little love nest. And
it's really big. It's really big. Yeah.
I love that. I love that whole scene.
It's an amazing scene. All right, so it took 3 years to go from 1 to 2. Are you guys already thinking up writing? Are you guys writing again already?
Well,
where do you say?
Somebody wants to give us some cash right now, we'd be happy to take it.
We have the script.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll.
There's too many awards not to have cash on the table for this. I'm very upset about that.
Yes.
There should be some.
Anybody who wants to be the executive producer of Smothered Season 3, we are open and ready to rock and roll for you. And we'll bring even more. We'll step it up. We'll have even bigger names, because the more people that watch the show, the more people want to be involved. And we've already had people.
They do. It's crazy.
Yeah, so.
I think you have to bring your cast and have a big one night only thing. Jason's comedy, your one-man show, get a couple of your actor friends, have a big old production, and make the whole bank for it one night.
Well, yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, I can do it right now. Mitch will be crying during his show, and then I'll be making fun of him. It'll be great. As all our
It'll be fab.
All our friends will come.
Yeah.
What the hell has happened to the two of you?
Well, it's Jewish heritage. You laugh, you cry, you start all over again. So I like it.
No, we have a lot of hope.
All right. Well, we got to wrap things up here. Let's go ahead and talk about where they can find you on social media, where they can find this fantastic series. Give them the website, because so much great information is on there, and where they can find everything. Jason?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. SmotheredTV.com.
SmotheredTV.com.
That's where you guys got to go to. You can watch the show on Reverie.
SmotheredTV.com. Keep going.
Reverie. You can watch it on Amazon,
YouTube,
Peacock,
Amazon,
Samsung,
Peacock,
Apple TV. It's on 29 different platforms, but you can get direct links by going.
And in Europe.
Yes, at SmotheredTV.com.
They monetized it on Amazon Prime, so you can pay $12, or you can watch it for free on YouTube.
And you can also see it
if you watch it on Amazon Prime on your TV. You got to flip over, go to details, write us a 5-star review. Tell us how much you loved us.
Yes, that means a lot, because we would love Amazon to call and take us to the next level.
And say, here's a call. Yeah, here's 100,000. Go make a little 6 episodes. I think it should be six 20-minute episodes this time. We're discussing.
That would be amazing. I mean, we went from the first one was 6 episodes of maybe 6 to 8 minutes, and then we have 8 episodes of 7 to 11 minutes. So it was
the first was 7, and the second one was 8. And the first season was, I'd say, 4 to 6 minutes, and the second season was probably 6 to 11 minutes. That's what
he just said.
Very, very good. And where can they find you personally and follow along for your own personal social media?
For me, you just go to jasonstuart.com, STUART. All my social media is right on the side.
Oh, yeah. MitchHara.com and Mitch Hara on all platforms. Facebook, Twitter, Shitter, Bitter.
There you go. I love it. Guys, thanks for taking the time to come on. Amazing second season. I appreciate you both so much. We'll have to, we'll find a way. I'll find some fundraising for you. We'll find a way to get this done.
Oh,
Put on my executive producer.
We would
hat.
love that.
Please.
There you go.
Tomorrow.
All right, stay on the line for me, guys. We're going to do a special 5 questions with both Mitch and Jason coming up. Look for that next Tuesday. Guys, thanks for being on the Left of Str8 Show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we'll be back on another episode soon. You can listen to the Left of Str8 Show right here in the Left of Str8 Radio Network. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Left of Str8 Show. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast distributor, and please give us a 5-star rating so more listeners can find us. You can follow us on social media, and be sure to check out our website, www.leftofstraightradio.com, for contests and other news and information. See you next week.